Thanks for joining us. The Tall Blacks beating Venezuela yesterday 98-85. What that win did was secure a place in the second round. Today, though, the final group match with Argentina, who have also beaten Venezuela and Russia. And it's a pleasure to have with us for expert comment this afternoon, former Tall Black Chris Tupu. Chris, it just doesn't get any easier, does it?
Not at all. Argentina, the only other unbeaten team in New Zealand's pool. They accounted for Russia by about 20 last night. So, you know, they've got a really strong professional league over in Argentina, and they're a class side.
What do you know about them? We know they're big, we know they're strong, we know they're quick.
They're real mobile. They're big guys, are physical. I think we'll see a physical encounter today. They have a classy a swingman guard in Ginobili, who's just been picked up and drafted into the NBA. And all the other players are pretty, you know, pretty solid players. As I said, they're playing extremely well as a team, and they're going to be tough.
All right, let's get to the match. The Tall Blacks playing the side ranked number 3 in the world. It's a huge test for them. Argentina against New Zealand. The starting 5 for New Zealand, the same as the first 2 matches. Cameron, Marks, Dickel, Penny and Jones. Our commentators are Bob Montai and Jeff Green.
Wonderful start to the third game in the first round at the 2002 World Championships. And Jeff, I must say, the Argentinians, mind you, they've seen it many times before, treated the haka with the respect that it deserves.
It did very much so, Bob. And of course, we had a bit of a controversy here yesterday with the Venezuelans. And at the press conference after the game, the coach for Venezuela did apologise to the New Zealand team and the players, because a lot of the youngsters in the Venezuelan team didn't understand what was happening and showed a bit of disrespect towards it. And so an international incident has been averted.
Well, I thought Pero Cameron was very good in the press conference afterwards. Pero said, look, it takes a couple of times for teams to get used to it. Even if they know about it beforehand, seeing it live is an entirely different matter. So he bore no grudges. He wasn't perturbed at all. And I imagine the second time, if they ever meet Venezuela again, those players will be a little bit more respectful as well.
Absolutely, and I think that's correct. So it was a great apology. Just talking last night to a couple of the Argentinians, because they know Dwayne McRae, who plays in Argentina in the off-season in New Zealand. And they know a bit about, because they were pumping Dwayne for a bit of information. So they do know a bit about the Kiwi team. They're not going to take the Kiwi team as lightly as Venezuela did.
Oh, indeed not. Now, the Argentinians are a very, very well-coached, well-drilled team. Yesterday in the commentary, we predicted that things would begin to happen, that the offense would come apart, but that will not happen with the Argentinians. This is a team that's as well-coached and as pattern-bound, I guess, as the Kiwis are. Now, Tab Baldwin does most of his thinking on his left knee there. You see him looking quite serious. One of the things about the game today is how seriously will New Zealand go after the Argentinians. No one expects the Kiwis to win, but every team wants to advance into the second round with a clean slate, Jeff.
Absolutely, and I think it'll be a dour affair in terms of, we'll try and get the Argentinian big men into some trouble. They're not as big as the Russians were, so I think that'll work in our favour.
Penny almost lost the ball. Dickel puts up the first 3, and it's there!
Sparky Dickel starting off like he left off yesterday against Venezuela.
Well, Kirk Penny draws a charge, well, trying to draw a charging foul, but Ginobili took it straight to the hoop. He will do this every time he gets an opportunity. Watch the out. Well, this is going to be Dickel's 3. The outlet pass off that basket led to a drive by Ginobili. Kirk Penny picked up the foul, and it puts Ginobili on the line to shoot his first free throw. Left-hander, just been drafted into the NBA. A very slashing sort of player. He's played professionally in Italy for a few years, and that is a very tough league, Jeff.
It certainly is, and of course that's where our own Phil Jones is headed to.
It's wonderful to see him get a contract like that. Dickel under a little bit of pressure, but Alberto, number 7, is not going to stay with Sparky Dickel. Pero Cameron sets a good block on Ginobili, but Ginobili, very tough player, making the steal there, but Phil Jones comes high to control it. 5 seconds on the shot clock, and the 3 goes up. It doesn't go down. Kiwis under a bit of pressure. Argentina has come to play, Jeff. They're not taking this game easy.
They're not at all, Bob. And in fact, they want to, as you said at the start of the commentary, they want to go with maximum points into the second round. And I'm sure that's exactly what Tab and the team want to do too. They're not coming here just to make up numbers. They're here to win games. And I think we'll see some positive stuff from the Kiwis.
Well, this is the first game of a two-game session. Just after this game will be the United States playing China. Foul, pushing foul. It's going to be called against Phil Jones. Very physical game here. First up, first couple of minutes, 3 or 4 fouls called already. And once again, Tab Baldwin off the bench and demanding that the fouls be called equally. There are 4 Argentinian players averaging double figures so far. And there's Ginobili once again, left-hander down the lane and scores the 2. Driving, slashing type of player. Sean Marks with a 3. Doesn't go down, and a foul underneath. Somebody's pushed Pero Cameron. I believe it's number 7, Fabricio Alberto.
And that's going to be a hard task to push big Pero Cameron around underneath. And I think that's where we've got to be. Try and pull some fouls on these Argentinian big men and see where we can go.
Well, that's what happened in the first game against the Russians. We did get them on fouls in the second half. And I think we're going to have to do that again.
The key to this game, I believe, Bob, is trying to keep the game close as possible and try and wear down the Argentinians in terms of a bit of physical play, because the 2 games I've had so far have been quite an easy run for them in terms of, it hasn't been that physical, and they've been able to get out the big leads. As long as we can keep it close, keep it more physical, I'd love to see them under pressure.
I agree with you, Jeff. Speaking of not being under pressure, Argentina literally took the Russian team apart, took them to the cleaners. New Zealand, if you remember, were down by 19 at one stage in that game and played magnificently to come back and beat them. But Argentina gave them no mercy from the opening whistle, just took them apart by about 25 points, I believe. Early on here, New Zealand with a 5-4 lead, 8:25 left in the first period. Ginobili, what a lovely player he is. Good moves inside, nice left-handed shot. Doesn't drop this time, but he's going to be a handful for someone.
Yeah, Kirk, of course, Kirk was picked him up originally, and then on the switch, Phil Jones had to take him, and they were a bit slow switching on that defensive play there.
Well, it seems a bit odd to be sitting inside. It's such a wonderful day here in Indianapolis yet again. Temperature in the low 90s, sunny. But everybody's come to see World Championship basketball as
Phil Jones lights it up, and that's what we want to see. Phil getting off early, an 8-4 lead early on in the ball game. That's nice to see Phil getting early touches.
I think you're a good luck charm, Jeff. He did that in the first game as well. I think he knocked down his first 3. Keep it up. Alberto has forced to knock it outside to Ginobili. There you see the class of the man.
He's the sort of guy, he's just showing us in the first few minutes of the game, he's got inside moves, he's got outside moves, and that's why he's just been drafted into the NBA, Bob. And the folks back home are seeing possibly a future star in the making. But I must add that Kirk Penny is also a star in the making for future NBA honors.
I agree entirely. Ginobili has scored all 7 of their points, Jeff. Phil Jones takes it inside and gets 2 more. New Zealand 10, Argentina 7.
Let me make a prediction. If Ginobili keeps shooting the basketball as he is, the rest of them will forget about how to play basketball, and we've got a real chance.
I can't see the Argentinians do that. I've never seen them lose their cool like that. They play to their strengths, and obviously one of their strengths is wearing number 5, Ginobili.
Yeah, others tend to get cold, though, Bob, don't they, when one man dominates the scoring. And, hopefully that's what Ginobili will do for the Argentinians, and everyone else will fall asleep.
You're quite right, Jeff. It's very, very frustrating when you're playing on a team where one player is handling the ball about 40% of the time. That doesn't give the others much of a chance. And after a whole game of that, they do get a bit frustrated. Sparky Dickel tries to take it inside. Here's a runaway fast break. Manu Ginobili scores 11 points for Argentina.
Ginobili 11, New Zealand 10.
He's a class act. Phil Jones slipping on the floor. We've seen that 2 or 3 times every game. A player has gone down. There must be moisture coming from somewhere on the court. I don't understand why, unless somebody has fallen down and we didn't see it. Dickel tries to put it up. Sean Marks goes high over Ginobili, who fouls Marks.
Now, there's one way of getting Ginobili out of the game. That's his first foul, and you know, if we can get a couple more, it'd be great. There's the slam dunk from Ginobili on down the other end. But this is the key. Once again, just like the Russian game, as long as we're crashing the offensive board, Bob, as Sean Marks did, we'll be right.
Pero Cameron lights it up. He's got 3, and New Zealand have 13, leading Argentina 11. 6:06 left in the first period. I think, Jeff, it's pretty clear that both teams are going to play very seriously in this game. Neither one wants to give away a win, because wins and losses carry over into round 2.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. And I think the Kiwis just lost the defensive assignment there. But it's still a matter of, you know, feeling each other out. The Argentinians have come out really tough on defense. There's a lovely pass by Kirk Penny for the slam, Sean Marks. That's what we got to do, get inside.
Well, that shows you a little bit of Kirk Penny's class. And the man who just scored the 2 points gets all the way back down the court to rebound the missed shot, Sean Marks. What a tremendous dimension he's added to the Kiwis under the back pocket, both ends, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, you know, Sean's 6'11", you know, and that's the style of big men in world basketball today. 6'11", that can run, shoot, play inside, play outside, and Sean shows that.
Well, Juan Sanchez, the little point guard, just lit it up with another left-handed shot. A couple of lefties in the starting lineup for the Argentinians. Pero Cameron going against Oberto. Sparky Dickel. He's taking it inside, looking for a dish. He gets it to Kirk Penny.
Offensive charge on Sparky Dickel. He went down the lane too deep. And this is probably one of the rules in world basketball, Bob, I'd like to see change, because, like, you know, when you go this low, well, there's the pass to Sean Marks on the previous play, but when you get down too low, you know, you can't get offensive charges like that.
Okay, with 4:47 left in the first period, timeout taken by New Zealand.
The race is
going right according to plan, 15 all. And what a great job the coaching staff, Nenad Vucinic and head coach Tab Baldwin, have done with the Tall Blacks. Everybody's talking about the Tall Blacks. They've pulled a couple of upsets, and they're a real force to be reckoned with now in the world scene, I believe.
Yeah, and at the press conference yesterday, and Tab tries to keep calm, but I think he's starting to feel the excitement, you know, and he can do that.
Okay, we're ready for play to resume. 4:47 left in the first period. Scores locked, 15 all. Nobody in a clear dominant position at the moment. Wachowski, Ruben Wachowski, who's got NBA experience, number 15, the big center in the game for Argentina. Sanchez, the point guard, number 4. Well, the steal comes from Paul Hanare, who's in the game for New Zealand. Cameron knocks it out to him. Inside, Pero Cameron, and he gets the foul on the big guy, Oberto.
And, of course, the big fella, he's not going to be able to hold Pero down low, and that's the second foul. He got his first foul, fouling Pero Cameron on an offensive board. So, you know, he's going to have a long, long night ahead of him. And a couple of plays ago, Pero gave him a great elbow into the chin just to let him know how he plays. If he's going to play close, you're going to cop an elbow from Pero Cameron. And everyone in New Zealand basketball knows what an elbow from Pero Cameron is like.
It's like a wake-up call. Every time the game starts, Pero's just out there introducing himself to players. And within 2 or 3 minutes, there's 2 or 3 angry big players on the opposition team. And that's just because they've met Mr. Cameron. Now, what an interesting factor in the game already, Argentina's on 5 team fouls, Jeff. This is shooting for the rest of the way in the first quarter, and there's still 4.5 minutes to play.
And Pero makes both of them, so we've got a 2-point lead.
Great start by the Kiwis. 2 well-matched teams, I think. Probably Argentina's got a little bit longer bench, but very well drilled, very well coached, just like New Zealand. Paul Hanare picks up a foul. Sconavini tried to go left on Hanare. His pathway was blocked. Now, Ed Book comes in for Sean Marks. That's good to rotate the big men, keep them fresh. I think that's a good idea, Jeff.
Yeah, we need to keep Sean especially fresh. And as long as we keep Sean fresh, then whoever comes in has just got to take that couple of minutes to settle in and do their job defensively, get a couple of boards and score.
Palladino's shot doesn't drop. The ball goes out of bounds, so New Zealand get out of jail. 17-15, a chance to extend their lead. Put the Argentinians under a little pressure. Pero Cameron's got another three.
PC for another three, and of course he's got the centre guarding him. He's got the centre way out beyond the three-point line, and Pero's a good enough basketball player to nail threes and take that shot every time a winner.
Look, big guys on the opposite team are not used to coming that high to mark their opposite. And Pero is as adept from the three-point line as he is from under the basket. Somebody's going to have to come out and pick him up. Sanchez puts up a left-hander. Nice shot.
Oh, we've got to get a hand on that face. Come on, Dylan, get some defense out. That's what you're there for, son.
Number 11 marking Pero Cameron, Luis Scola. Ed Book puts up an 18-footer. Doesn't go down. Weak side rebound. Sanchez, foot race. New Zealand bench screaming for a travel as down Bloody Nose Lane goes Sconacini, scores the basket, draws the foul. He's going to be on the line to convert a three-point play.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Watch here, where Ed Book is. He's planted his feet and he's under the basket. In the NBA, they have the little half circle under the basket. In fact, they've changed the call. They have changed the call. It was an offensive change, so that was great because, like, you know, normally it goes to against the defender.
Jeff, I think you talked the referees right out of that one.
I went down before the game. I did talk to them. You saw me talking to the referees just before the game. I slipped them a bit of advice.
By the way, who are the referees for today?
I knew you were going to ask that. The guy from Lithuania is Brzezalskis.
Right.
And the guy from Japan, that's easier to say, Miyataki.
Miyataki.
So, no, you didn't get me on that one, Bob. You tried.
Neutral referees. Ed Book makes one of two. It's a 13-20 ball game. Argentina by 7. 3 minutes left in the first period. Sconacini delivers the ball outside, picks it up again in the corner. Good defense from the Kiwis. There's 6 seconds on the shot clock. Sconacini takes steps.
Oh, and that was good defense. Dylan Boucher, obviously one of our better defenders, was right there. He played good defense that whole time, and the guy thought he could get away with that extra step to get around Dylan. Good job, Boucher.
Sconacini's face said it all. Don't cry for me, Argentina. 20-21. They had the score up there incorrectly. I thought it was a bit odd. 21. New Zealand, Argentina 20. 2:41 left in the first period, and a foul is going to be on.
Now, this is a good move. This is the aggressive move that we need from the Kiwis. Pero Cameron got the ball, went strong to the basket, and the defense was too slow to react to come across. Pero was already in his layup stride. Unfortunately, we won't get to see the replay, but good, strong move. That's what we need from the Kiwis. Positive attitude.
Number 11, that was Luis Scola, picks up the foul and gives Pero a chance to make a couple. He drops the first one, misses the first one. New Zealand playing very, very well. I'm impressed in the opening period here. They've come to play. This is the 3rd game in 3 days. That's got to be tough on the body and certainly tough on the mind. Getting up for a big game every day, day after day. An international competition drains you.
It certainly does, and a lot of the players around the stadiums just look jaded, and the Kiwi boys are fresh though right now. They look really fresh. I'm really impressed with their fitness at the moment.
Argentina very patient on offense, kicking it around. Ginobili is off the floor right now. Hook shot doesn't go down. It's batted out of bounds by Wolkowski. Ruben Wolkowski, number 15, the big center. So New Zealand get possession without having to give up 2 points. It's good defense from the Kiwis. Pass underneath to Sean Marks. A little bit optimistic there from Dylan Boucher.
Yeah, it was, but we've still got that 2-point lead, and we need another defensive stop here.
Underneath, nice pass, Wilkowski. And it's going to be
the jumping ability of Sean Marks. Took the ball out of the basket.
Well, I think he probably, the shot was going to go down, and Sean says, I'm just going to intimidate this fellow just a little bit, just to show him what a big presence is hanging around the rim. So he knocked the ball away.
Another calling card, Bob.
Indeed, indeed, Chip. Leaves a little doubt in his mind. Ed Book will inbound the ball for the Kiwis, 22 all. Minute and 50 seconds left in the first period. Boucher makes a good spin, kicks it back to Hinati underneath.
Oh, great pass, Paulie Hinati. What a great vision there. He saw the full court and passed it underneath to Ed Book for the easy two. Great vision, Paulie.
That's just great passing. It's a perfect assist.
It is as if the big man makes the basket.
Nocchioni in there now, number 13, who puts up the three-pointer, doesn't drop. Ed Book quick to get onto the ball. Hinati brings the ball up for New Zealand. Ball's batted into the crowd by Palladino. The Kiwis will inbound at 24-22. New Zealand by 2. 1 minute, 15 to go. And a timeout's going to be taken by Coach Tab Baldwin. New Zealand cruising by 2. Well, Jeff, have to say it again. It's a good first period for New Zealand. Very evenly matched teams. But at the moment, I think New Zealand's doing everything they need to. They've got to stay close. Stay close. And in the fourth quarter, it's anybody's ball game.
Absolutely, Bob. And I said that at the beginning of the broadcast. If we can stay close to them and put the Argentinians in some pressure in the fourth quarter, we'll see what the Russians did. And in terms of, you know, their body language started to show, and we got on top of them mentally. I think this will be the same with the Argentinians. They haven't had a tough game all tournament. Their previous two have been comfortable wins. And so all we need to do is take care of that. And if we can keep it close, as you said, I think we're going to be in with a good show here. I'm real pleased with the way that we're moving the ball offensively. That last basket showed with Paul Hinati, the vision he had to get the ball down low to the big guy. I'm impressed with that. I'm also impressed with our defense. I think our defense, they aren't getting the easy baskets.
Indeed, very good. Well, the timeout, Hooter is gone. The timeout's over, and play will resume in just a second. New Zealand have had time to talk things over. 24-22 lead. 1 minute, 15 seconds left to play. And I can't wait until the Kiwi crowd starts revving it up. The Argentinas are giving it heaps over there, Jeff. We've got to get the fans into the game a little bit more. Now, how do we do that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Bob, I'm sitting over here, so I can't do the commentary as well as be the cheerleaders.
Stand up and wave your arms. They'll see you, Jeff. Phil Jones. We need a couple of three-pointers from him. Ed Book puts up a three. Great shooting from
there you
Ed
go.
Book.
And that's the value of Ed Book. He's a big man that can score inside and outside. Defensively, he's not as tough as we'd like him to be, but that's his value to this New Zealand team.
5-point cushion to the Kiwis at the moment. Time ticking down here. Oh, Sean Marks spiked the ball against the glass.
He got up there and says, let's clean these windows. They look a bit dirty. And he just threw that one out of town.
Good defensive move by Marks. Phil Jones gives it to Dylan Boucher on the baseline. And
Sean Marks again. Look, he cleans the window down one end. He comes down, gets an offensive board, and puts it back for a two.
He just grabbed the ball and stuck it in the hole. 22 seconds to go. 29-22. The Kiwis by 7. Ripped into a 7-point lead here.
Oh.
From the corner, a three-point play. And the player's going to be fouled.
Dylan Boucher put him to the floor. Here's the replay. Kick it out. No, that's the Sean Marks cleaning of the window. And we say it all the time, Bob, but like, you know, here's purely an NBA player. Here's his tip in. Dylan goes to the hole. Nothing there. Sean on the offensive glass. True NBA style.
What a force. What a force he's been. Palladino, who just scored the 3, cutting the lead to 4, now gets a free throw. That's a 4-point play. Wow, is that expensive. That's 3 with interest.
That's expensive, and Dylan knows better to foul 3-point shooters.
So Palladino off the 4-point play.
Oh, Paulie Hinati
team been hammered.
Look at the vision, Bob. Paul Henry goes to the hole, dishes off between 3 players. Sean Marks says, look, I'm going to dunk that. And in fact, Sean now is talking to the big fella. You know, look at this great move. Sean goes in there. 2 big guys just manhandle him.
Sean Marks just said, thank you very much, Paul. Paul said, would you like that with fries next time, Sean? Yeah. Great little dish off. So,
in the States, that's a mugging. That's a mugging.
2.6 seconds. New Zealand has taken a timeout. They lead 29-26.
And of course, Bob, you know, that's a mugging. I'm surprised the police haven't come on and interviewed those 2 Argentinians, because you know, that wasn't basketball. They just completely grabbed hold of Marks. End of story. Said, you're going nowhere. We know you're one of the stars of this team. We're not giving you nothing easy.
But that's right, Jeff. But we both know that New Zealand doesn't mind a bit of bump and shove basketball. I mean, the more physical it gets, the more G'd up some of our players become. Dylan Boucher goes in, and he's something like a pinball in a pinball machine at times, bouncing off bodies and players. I don't think Marks will be bothered by that at all. He'll make the free throws. New Zealand will go to 31-26, and we got 2.6 seconds left for the Argentinians to do something with it.
And let me quote Tad Baldwin. Can you believe the score right now, Bob? The Kiwis are playing outstanding basketball. They said, we know Argentina is the top seed in this section, but we're not going to stand down. We've proved we can play 2 games in this World Forum, and we're going to prove we can play another 3rd game.
That's right, Jeff. We're going to front up to them, take the game to them, and we have so far. What a great feast of basketball we've had over the last 3 days here in Indianapolis. And much, much more to come as the Kiwis are going to move through to round number 2. There'll be 12 teams left after today. 4 of them drop out to play for places 16 through 13. And the next 12 go into round 2. And the New Zealanders are going to be right there.
They're going to be right there, Bob. And one more win will get us into the top 8.
I'll only say this one. Eat your heart out, Australia.
Oh, I'm with you, Bob. I'm with you.
Okay, 31-26. Sean Marks has made it. Fires up the last desperation shot. Palladino, it hits the glass but doesn't go down. And so at the end of the first period, New Zealand with a 5-point lead, 31 over Argentina 26.
The adulteress.
Here we go, the start of the second period. New Zealand ripped into a 5-point lead, 31-26. Now, Jeff, I just noticed a sign in the Kiwi crowd on the other side of the floor. It says, who says Kiwis can't fly? Probably in reference to my comment about flightless nocturnal birds.
And those Kiwis are letting you know there's a 3-pointer to start the second quarter from Argentina.
I stand by my facts. They can't fly, but they sure can rebound. One of the best rebounding teams in the first 2 rounds here, averaging almost 50 rebounds a game. Mark Dickel inside. Peril Cameron just doesn't go down. Leading scorer for New Zealand in the first period, Peril Cameron had 9. Phil Jones had 7. Ed Book 6. Sean Marks 6. Good scoring balance in the first period.
Certainly was, and of course the big fella just gave Pero an Argentinian welcome down low. Nice elbow to the chops before he made the ball off the glass.
Well, compliments of a very quick start. Argentina has tied the scores, and there's going to be a foul underneath. Number 5, Ginobili. Ginobili picks up a foul, pushing or blocking Philip Jones under the basket.
And that's his second, so you know, he didn't play a lot in that the last quarter, the last half of that first quarter.
No, he didn't. You see the stats on the screen there. One of the features of New Zealand's game so far: 5 of 8 from the 3-point line.
There's Sean Marks yet again on the offensive glass. Gets another rebound off the Pero Cameron miss.
Jeff, you said it earlier. It sure is a feature of the Kiwi game so far. The offensive rebounding is superb, and it's compliments of Sean Marks. Now, Kirk Penny takes it inside. He gets tangled up with Oberto, I think it is. No, that's number 13. Andre Nocchioni picks up his first foul. Nocchioni goes down, pulls down Kirk Penny with him. It's the only thing that stopped Kirk Penny scoring the 2 and getting the free throw.
Exactly right, Bob, and because that shows once again Kirk is such a potent force, not only from the 3-point line, but he has got international capabilities, being able to take the ball to the basket. Very strong.
Well, Kirk Penny makes them both. New Zealand shooting very well from the free throw stripe. 8 of 10 in the first period. 2 more there from Kirk Penny. And we got a 33-31 lead. Foul underneath. Ginobili, number 5. That's going to be 3 fouls on Manu Ginobili. Coach can't believe it.
That is huge, Bob. If we can get one more on this guy before the half, that is absolutely huge, because we built that 5-point lead with him off the court.
Jeff, now watch him. He might blow his cool here. Coach has got to get him off the floor. Will he be subbed? Yes, he will. Somebody's waiting to come in for him. It's the first stop in play, and another foul underneath. 13. That's Andre Nozchioni.
And the Argentinians, all of a sudden, Bob, we've only had a minute and a half of the quarter gone, and they're in the team bonus. New Zealand can shoot every time they foul from now on. That's ridiculous.
It is, Jeff. It's a big feature in the game. They're giving New Zealand a lot of attempts from the stripes, from the free throw stripe. 8:25 left in the first half, and already Argentina has fouled 4 times. Now that's shooting territory. The rest of the way for the Kiwis. Weak side rebound goes to Argentina. Ginobili has been taken off the court, as we knew he would be. And number 6 who replaced him, that's Alejandro Matequina.
Pero Cameron
knocks
set
it down.
A couple of bruising picks in the last couple of plays.
Hey, Kirk Penny.
Kirk Penny, he can show that he can post up as well as a guard. A big guard, 6'5". He's got a lot of weight on him. You know, he's strong upper body, and that's the sort of thing they teach you at college basketball in the States.
He's developed into the complete player, Jeff. He's good inside, outside, offensively, defensively. And Pero Cameron, now this is a bit of a worry, picks up foul number 2. Pero's prone to fouling, and he's got 2 fouls early in the second period. I'm sure he'll be subbed off. Here you see Kirk Penny's little move. He bumps the opposition, just gets a bit of room for himself. A little turnaround jumper.
And Pero's just pulled a great offensive charge from number 13. And so that's his 3rd foul. So they've got 2 of their starters in foul trouble right now. The Argentinian coach is doing some sort of cry for me Argentina war dance on the side. And this is what I thought, Bob, if we could get these guys in some foul trouble, let's see how they handle it mentally.
Well, Gutierrez has replaced number 11, who just committed the foul. Phil Jones launches a 3, doesn't go down, and Pero Cameron gets a rebound. It's there!
On the offensive glass, big PC boxed his man out. His man was on 3 fouls already, so he couldn't go out and stop Pero. An easy 2 points.
Backing in, Oberto in the paint. Nice little jump shot. Good move from the big man.
That was nice. That was nice. He backed Sean Marks down, and Sean really leaped high to try and block that. That was a nice basket.
Couple of classy teams here, Jeff. This is a basketball feast. New Zealand leading by 1, 37-36. Cameron drops it out to Kirk Penny. There's the 3. Doesn't go down. Argentina quickly up the court with the ball, looking for a fast break, but New Zealand's transition defense very good that time. Oberto working against Sean Marks. Good matchup here. Look at the bump and shove. Oberto, nice little move inside.
Oh, that was world class. That move was world class. That was a great offensive move and great defense, and yeah, that was world class. That was pretty to watch.
Oberto's pumped up now. He's going to be calling for the ball every time. He scored the last 4 points for Argentina. The pass goes inside, goes off Kirk Penny's foot, and a couple of mistakes and turnovers creeping into the game for New Zealand. Tab Baldwin shouting a few orders. There's a good move inside from Oberto. Fabricio Oberto. 6:17 left in the first half. The Argentinian crowd getting into the game now. Oh, lovely shot from the corner. Leandro Palladino.
Sparky Tickle, he's got to get out there a bit faster on those jump shots. That's the second one that he's let go, an uncontested shot. We can't afford that.
Notice the Kiwi offense, how patient it is. So many teams you see here are run and gun experts. The Kiwis tend to play to a pattern. Now the ball goes off Pero Cameron.
And I think Tab's going to get a timeout here. That's the 3rd turnover in a row.
So with 5:49 left in the first half, a timeout called by New Zealand. They're down by 3. Argentina leads to 37. Well, Jeff, interestingly enough, in this period, Argentina's outscored New Zealand 14-6. Hence a 3-point lead right now.
And of course, a lot of those points for Argentina have come off some sloppy play by the Kiwis offensively. We've tried to force the ball 2 or 3 times down low into the post on a moving cutter. And the Argentinians have been able to get their hands in and bat it out of bounds, or at least bat it to someone else in their team. So we just need to tidy up our passing, a few more ball fakes. We said it the other day that the Europeans are great with ball fakes and then start to take their man. And I think that's what the Kiwis need to do. Just throw a few ball fakes, then they can get the defense moving, then we might be able to get the ball into the post a lot easier.
The other thing we've seen is kind of the shifting in composure. Just a few minutes ago, the Argentinians looked like they were just starting to lose composure a bit. Had a couple of quick fouls called on them. Ginobili got his 3rd foul, but they've settled down. They're a very, very well coached, well composed, confident team, and they're right back into the game, and they've suddenly put the pressure all right back onto the Kiwi shoulders.
Yeah, and I think Tab took the right move there to get a timeout, just to control ourselves and say, like, you know, we've turned it over 3 times in a row. We just need to take our time, be patient offensively, because we are one of the better patient offensive teams here in this tournament. And if we can do that, you know, we'll claw our way back into this. We're only 3 down, and you know, take our time in doing it.
Well, there's a philosophy in basketball that says as long as you have the ball, the other team's not going to score with it. And that's the reason for playing patient basketball. Unless you've got a team that suits the fast break, run and gun type of style. And I don't think we could put it with too many teams here playing that kind of basketball, Jeff. The better option is to play composed, pattern-based basketball. Alberto backing in against Sean Marks. Takes steps. Turnover. Sean Marks won that little battle. Interesting matchup here.
It's a great matchup. It's great to see. They're marking each other both offensively and defensively, so no one's giving anything right now.
Phil Jones in the corner. He'd love to light it up with a 3. Ball doesn't drop. Good rebounding from the Argentines. 5:21. 3-point lead to Argentina. The shot doesn't go down. Weak side rebound. He goes to Alberto, fires it back to halfway, and it's saved by number 6, Alejandro Montechia. Move. Nocchioni on the baseline has to throw it back outside. The 3-point shot doesn't drop. Dickel looking for a way inside. He just hadn't been able to penetrate yet. Phil Jones, little fake, takes the baseline, feeds Pero Cameron, who's virtually shoved out of bounds. There was no foul called, and the Argentines come up with the ball. Well, Cameron was shot out of a cannon there. He almost went into the crowd.
He certainly was, and that was a great move by Phil Jones. He took it, the basketball strong to the hole, dished it off, and Pero just got absolutely hammered out of bounds.
Good pass underneath. Alberto, nice move and a reverse layup. All the same, that's class stuff for the big man.
He certainly is giving us a bit of a clinic right now offensively. But I think what New Zealand's got to do is get the ball down low to Pero. They do that right now because he's got a smaller guy on him. Defensively, I don't think you'll be able to hold him.
Pero holding onto the ball just a little bit too long there. One of the Argentine players got his hand to it, knocked out of bounds. Watch the pass underneath. Just watch the fakes here. 1, 2, and a reverse layup. Nice spin on the ball, off the glass and into the basket. That's just class play from a center.
Fabricio Alberto. 8 points, 2 boards. He's done it all for Argentina right now.
Well, he's only averaged 7.5 in his first 2 games as Phil Jones comes to town. He lights it up with 3. It's a 42-39 lead to Argentina. Just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. 2 subs ready to come in for New Zealand. Hanare and Boucher. Alberto once again. Here's one-on-one basketball. I love to see it. Sean Marks forces him to throw it high. Gutierrez misses a shot, and Phil Jones cleans the glass. Dickel closely marked. You notice they're not giving Dickel the center. He cannot penetrate down the lane, Jeff.
No, we turn the ball over once again. Ed Book, a bad pass. He threw it to no one. But you're right. The Argentinians know how quick Sparky is, and once he gets the ball down the middle of the lane, then he's able to do things. Here's Oh, I was going to say there's an offensive charge.
Well, they've given him the basket, and the foul is going to be on number 14, Nocchioni. No, that's Palladino.
13. It was an offensive charge. These two referees, it's been really hard. They haven't shown us the offensive charge sign that you would normally expect. And that's twice they've done that to us, and commentary nightmare here.
Well, they're leaving us guessing. It's a bit like a mystery envelope. The whistle blows, bodies splattered all over the floor, and we wait to see what's going to be called. Anyway, the basket was good. That gives them the 2. Their total goes to 44, and Ed Book is shooting for 40 here. A bit messy, but it drops. Kiwis still shooting pretty well this game from the free throw stripe. They were 8 for 10 in the first period.
Yeah, Ed Book is bleeding from the forehead there, and he's coming to the side. Mandatory come to the side. Blood bin. And Pero Cameron comes in to shoot that remaining free throw. And that would have happened with the guy going to the basket that last play where he went high and Book just stood his ground.
That's right. Book walks off the floor with his red badge of courage plastered on his forehead. He'll be patched up and he'll be back. It doesn't look too serious, but anytime there's blood, the player has to leave the court to be attended to, and that leaves Pero Cameron to shoot the second of Ed Book's 2 free throws. He misses it. It'll get probably a free movie pass out of that from Pero Cameron, I would imagine, Jeff. 44-40, Argentina by 4, 3 minutes left in the first half. An interesting chess match here between 2 very solid teams. Oh, nice little fadeaway jump shot. It doesn't go down, and Oberto had his arm all over Sean Marks, who couldn't get off the floor, and Oberto gets a pass inside, puts it in, and it's a 6-point lead to Argentina.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Kiwis have started to, unravel a little here. They just got to take their time. There's a good shot, good option from Paul Henare with the 3, but Dylan Boucher doing what he does best, trying to get in the Argentinians' faces, but nothing came of it.
Well, the Kiwis just have to keep their composure. Oberto, 1 bounce, puts it in, very good in the air. Quite a tall man. 2.08 meters. New man in for Argentina's Gabriel Fernandez.
There's Ed Book being attended to still.
.223 left in the first half. New Zealand trailing by 6. Ball knocked around the 3-point line, around the perimeter, and finally number 14, that's Leandro Palladino, lights it up, and it's suddenly a 9-point deficit. New Zealand running uphill now, 49-40, with 2 minutes left to play in the first half.
And that's because Phil Jones answers with a 2, but offensively we haven't got enough offensive weapons out there with only the Phil, Sean Marks, and Pero, the recognised scorers. And defensively, we've got to do a better job. That last 3, they passed the ball around 4 or 5 times and got an easy shot off.
Well, Argentina does everything well. They'll take it underneath, and they've got the players to do that. But if they can't, they'll pass it around the perimeter as they did the last time. And now Boucher.
And there's another opportunity there defensively. What happened? We got caught up in screens. Phil Jones got caught up down low fighting against the picks. And then all of a sudden they free up another shot.
So with 1:35 to go, New Zealand take a timeout. They're trailing 42, Argentina 49. Do not want to be 9 or 10 points in arrears at halftime. Hooters sounds. We're ready for the start of the final 1 minute 35 seconds of the second period. And on the line will be Dylan Boucher to shoot 2. Good passing, good passing.
And they're just showing there the replays there that, how easy it has been for the Argentinian big men inside. And, there's another move inside. And Sean's got his hands full with this guy. He really has. But I'm confident Sean will be able to do his job as long as everyone else stops the passes. And that's the key. We've got to get in the passes' faces. There you go, Bob. What are you talking about? Dylan can't shoot free throws.
Oh, I didn't say he couldn't shoot them. I just said he's a little bit shakier than some of the others on the team. But Dylan, you made 1 or 2. That'll do. Now somebody stepped in the lane, so he gets another attempt, Jeff. Who wiped that second one.
Absolutely. That didn't mean anything. This one will mean something.
Here's what you don't see too often, a replay for real in basketball.
Nothing but.
2 in a row. Nothing but. Okay, here we go. 49-44, Argentina by 5. 1.5 minutes to play. Hanani doing a good job hounding the point guard out front. Sconacini goes inside, and before he gets the move to the hoop, he's going to be fouled by Paul Hanani.
Yeah, Paulie gave up the baseline there, and the guy was able to go straight to the hole. There was no help defense coming across, so Paulie had no chance, but he hit the foul. Otherwise, it's going to be an easy 2. We don't want to give up easy baskets.
That set the reset the shot clock. There's 22 seconds to go. 1 minute 16 on the game clock. Argentina by 5. Good man-to-man pressure coming from New Zealand at the moment. Good feed to Oberto, the ever-present center. Number 6 it was, took it inside. Alejandro Montexia, and he feeds very nicely to Oberto and makes it 2 points. We've got a charging foul on number 10, Dylan Boucher. Look of disbelief on his face. Shakes his head, and fouls evening up now a bit as New Zealand gives over possession without even getting up a shot. 51-44. That's not what they were playing for, obviously. 56.2 seconds left to go in the first half.
Argentina have shown their bench strength here, Bob. 2 of their better players out of the starting lineup are out of the game, and now they're showing their strength in terms of what value they have on their bench.
Shows you the gumption of the Kiwis. They come straight back and force a turnover. Retain possession. 50 seconds left to go in the first half. They've got to cut into this lead. They've got to stay close. Cameron looking underneath. Boucher has his shot beautifully blocked. Argentina on a fast break. Sconioni. Sconacini.
I can't believe that Dylan went to the basket very strongly. Sure, that may not have been a foul. Then they come down the other end and give away a little ticky-tack foul. That's the sort of thing that the inconsistency of some of the international referees. A lot of them make them let the basketballers play. Others don't. And we just have to get used to the Lithuanian guy. He's not letting a lot go. So, we've got to be careful down this end.
Well, that's right, Jeff. Players have to adjust. There's nothing you can do about the referees. You just have to take it in stride, adjust your game slightly, and get on with it. Fortunately for New Zealand, Argentina missed the first free throw. He misses the second. New Zealand has got to clear the boards, take it up the other end. There's 33 seconds left in the first half. 52-44, 8-point lead, largest of the evening for the Argentinians.
We're still within our magical 10 points at halftime, but not if we keep throwing the ball away like that, Bob.
No, an unfortunate play, and
look at the face of Tab Baldwin. He knows that his team is just not doing the things that he expects them to do.
Well, often people think a game is made up of big plays. Well, little plays like that one are the ones that coaches have nightmares about. That's the sort of mistake you don't want to see happen very often. So, 7 seconds left to play. Finally, sloppily gets up to 3. It doesn't go down, and Sean Marks pulls down the rebound, throws it up the court. Couldn't find Phil Jones, but it didn't matter because he wouldn't have gotten the shot off anyway. So at the end of the first half, New Zealand down 52-44.
Half-time in our basketball feature this afternoon. New Zealand playing Argentina. The final group match, both teams unbeaten. At the break, the Argentinians ahead by 10, 54-44. We rejoin the match in the third quarter. 8 minutes, 35 seconds to go. The South Americans still leading by 10.
Sean Marks, Perro Cameron, hungry hands in there, would love to get the ball in a position to go to the hoop. Marks feeds Cameron. Perro backing in. takes it, gives it to Marks. Nice little pass. The shot was in the air before the clock went off, so the points count.
And that was a good pass by Pero. I thought he should have taken it personally himself, but he dished it off to Marks with easy too. And there's disbelief. I don't know where that foul came from, but it's on Pero Cameron. That's his third. Here's this good move. Look, Pero underneath, dishes off to Sean Marks. Easy points there. He could have had that himself, but down the other end.
Players went to sleep on the transition, trying to get back into defense, and Sconacini ran the length of the court, laid it up easily. He was fouled, and he's on the line to make a three-point play. 10-point lead to Argentina.
And this is where we saw Argentina last the other day against Russia. They're just so quick in transition. They get the ball from one end of the court down the other, and they score these easy baskets just like they did then.
And remember, Ginobili, their best player, reputedly best player, still on the bench with 3 fouls. Kirk Penny takes it to the hoop, makes a couple, and drags New Zealand back within 9 points. They've got to keep it under 10, Jeff. A long way back if you get to 10, 12, 14 points down.
Particularly against a team like Argentina. They have some good quality players.
Nice move from the little point guard. It doesn't go down, and Sean Marks gets another rebound. Very talented 7-footer for New Zealand. Brings a whole new dimension to the Tall Blacks. Boucher's pass intercepted. Sconacini, good pass ahead. Wilkowski is hammered by Mark Dickel. Dickel said, you're not going to get a shot up no matter what you try and do with that ball. No way.
And there was a no contest as far as Sparky is concerned. As you see, he was just absolutely, the big fella ran the lane. Here we go. Look at that, 6'10" against Mark Dickel. He had no show trying to stop that. But he had to stop it because, as we said, Argentina are great going from defense to offense. They get the ball up very quickly. Their big men all run the lane great. And, that's one of their biggest guys, 6'10". He's a man mountain, and he ran the lane and finished off the break.
Well, it's a feature of the play around the world now. We've got people 6'10" and larger who are playing like guards. They can handle the ball so well. They bring it out high. They can dribble it up if they have to. And they're very, very strong under the basket. A whole new dimension to basketball.
Well, the big guy just got a great welcome elbow from Pero Cameron. Cleared him out. The big guy went flying, and that's a big man to move. Pero Cameron easy too.
Well, that physical side of the Kiwi game has got to come more to the fore. 61-52. Hey, the ball's knocked off the ring. We've got a foul after the shot. Number 11, Luis Scola, is going to be called for the foul.
That's his fourth.
Jeff, I have to say that some of the reffing is very inconsistent. Pero knocks Wilkowski out of the way and goes straight to the hoop.
Now that's what you call a clear out. That's plain and simple. Here's this guy. He challenged Sean Marks on the rim. Sean altered his shot. Then the other guy comes through and screams all over everyone. So an offensive foul.
Scola was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got a foul for his efforts now. Sean Marks straight to the hoop. Nice play inside.
Basket, Sean Marks, and that's the sort of thing we need inside, because if we can keep the Argentinians busy on defense, then we've got a chance here.
Well, that's Dickel at his best. He loves giving the ball into the big guys. He collects an assist, and Marks gets 2 points for his efforts. Turnaround jumper inside. Ed Book gets his hand to that. Good block, but he's going to be called for the foul.
The last 2 times down for the Kiwis, though, Bob, we've been able to clear out one side of the court and get easy baskets. Down this end, we've got to tighten up that defense, as we've been saying all game. We can't let these Argentinians get to the free throw line. We can't let them get easy baskets inside. They killed us in the first half, 24-12 inside the paint. As we said before, we have to tidy that up. If we can tidy that aspect of our game up, I think we're in with a good shot here.
I think you're right, Jeff. We've got to force them to start shooting the three. Now, they shoot very well from out there, but it's going to be around 40% rather than the 60% from the floor inside they were shooting in the first half.
Totally correct, and the Argentinians understand that right now, and they're looking to bring their man from the NBA back into the game, because their scoring has dropped. We've been able to counter with a couple of easy baskets, so the Argentinians here are about to make a substitution.
Well, the cameraman sitting right under the basket there suddenly saw a basketball completely occlude his lens there. Didn't have time to move. Book inside, controls the pass. Bounce, spin, shoots. Doesn't go down. Scola with the ball, knocked out of his hands, but it's a 3-on-2 fast break. Kirk Penny has it knocked out of his hands, and Sparky Dickel is down. He sprained an ankle. It's not a good sight. He's up.
He's going to work that out. Sparky isn't going to let the team down over a little niggle like a sprained ankle.
He's trying to show no pain. He looks all right.
He's a tough boy from Dunedin. He's going to be able to do it.
For a moment, it looked pretty painful. All he's got to do is shoot a 3 and we'll be right. Now, number 15, Wolkowski, is called for a foul on Sean Marks. I've got to say, the referees, at least they're consistently inconsistent, Jeff.
I'm not going to say anything about referees, Bob.
Leave that topic to me, mate.
Absolutely. I've got enough money going out of my bank account because of referee. But you could see once again the Kiwis cleared out the post for Sean Marks. They've done that 4 times in a row down the court now. And they've got rewards out of it.
Boucher backing in. Puts up the little shot over the basket on the weak side. Book gets a big rebound. Dickel collects a loose ball. New Zealand playing with a bit more heart now, getting a bit more physical, as we talked about several times in the first half. The way to ignite an offense is get tough on defense. Book doesn't go down. Look at Sean Marks, and he's pushed out of the way by number 10. Sconacini's going to pick up the foul. That's his 3rd. Sean Marks with those long arms, a big reach, just went right over the little man. Watch this.
Look at this. The athletic rebound by Sean Marks. He took a right on the back of number 10. And Argentina have responded by bringing back in Alberto, the big guy who did all the damage in the second quarter. So, you know, but that's our second offensive rebound in the last minute, Bob. That's what we need. We need to be aggressive defensively, and we need to go to the boards hard.
Well, it hurts a team when you start getting 2 and sometimes even 3 shots up the court. As a coach, you never want to give up any more than 1 shot. Here's a foul. Sanchez puts his hand in the air. He doesn't want to be on Alberto, but no, the referee's not going to be fooled. And he gives it to Alberto. Number 4.
And that was a crucial, and because that's good intelligent basketball by number 4, Sanchez. You know, clearly Alberto fouled. He got his hand in the cookie jar, but Sanchez says, look, that's our big man. I can't let him take the foul. Let me take the blame. I'll take the rap, Bob. But luckily our man from Lithuania, he wasn't to be fooled.
No, well, I'll tell you, the other referee, the Japanese ref, has hardly got any air in that whistle so far in the game. And
I think he lost his pee somewhere along the line.
he's doing the job for 2, and in fact for 3 at the moment. Well, Kirk Penny lights it up. We've got a 61-56 ball game, back within 5. It's a good comeback by the Tall Blacks.
And it started with good, tough defense, Bob.
Ginobili into the hoop, into the lane. What a beautiful shot.
Beautiful
I love it.
Basket.
I love it.
NBA written all over that. Great basket.
Well, I thought 3 times he was going to put it up, and he had me faked out about 3 times. At the other end,
he's hurt himself. Giovanni's hurt himself. He's pulled up lane with his knee.
Oh, you'll shake that off. He's already lost it. That was a soccer go-down, Jeff. He's up.
Give him a yellow card.
63-58.
Oh!
Ball goes out of bounds. And
a good defensive play there by Ed Book. What he did was he put pressure on the big guy. The big guy dribbled it off his foot.
Here we go. Ginobili. What a beautiful move on a replay there. So with 4:30 left in the 3rd period, New Zealand takes timeout. They trail Argentina 58-63. Sean Marks plays for the Miami Heat in the NBA. Our first and only representative. We'll have another couple there soon, I'm sure, and one of them's going to be number 6, Kirk Penny. Now, Argentina's come out in a zone, a 1-3-1 zone, I believe. We'll check it in just a moment. New Zealand kicking it around the outside. Henare takes a 3 and he drops it
from Paulie Henare. That was good movement offensively. The Kiwis just were very, very patient. They've shown that all tournament, and we came up with a huge basket. Good basketball.
Back to within 2. Kiwis sticking with a man-to-man defense. Wolkowski trying to work against Sean Marks. Good little battle there. Alberto off the floor at the moment. We got a charging foul on number 9.
They're coming back, and look who pulled it. Dylan Boucher. Missed the defense, missed everything on the defensive end. Dylan Boucher. He's showing a bit of a fix from the the hammering he took from that, but what a good job, and that's the sort of thing we know Dylan can do. He gets in people's faces, pulls an offensive charge.
Just saw
Here it is.
Ruben Mignano, the coach. Yeah, Dylan helped his cause there, no end. 63-61, New Zealand have charged back into the game here on the baseline. Sean Mark moves right, comes back left, puts up the jumper, doesn't go down, and Walkowski throwing elbows. Loses the ball underneath. Turnover, New Zealand. A chance to tie the game or go ahead if somebody can drop a three. Behind the back dribble from Paul Henare. Now Marks can shoot the three, so can Ed Book. But they'd want Kirk Penny to be out there on the three-point line. Time ticking away here. We got 7 seconds on the shot clock. Marks gives it off to Boucher, drives the lane, hangs on the rim, and Ed
good
Book
job,
pulls it
Ed
down.
Book on the offensive board. And there's a bit of the notification. Good job.
Book got punched in the face. We'll see this on a replay. Number 13 is being pushed out of the way. Andre Nocchioni there. He's claiming he didn't do it. We'll try to see it. He's pointing at Dylan Boucher, but Dylan Boucher was not the one who put the fist in Ed Book's face.
Ed Book was just dropped with a hammer. And Dylan Boucher is not about to let a teammate take that, and he let the Argentinians know that we're not going to step away. We're not a nation that's going to step away from anything.
Now we'll see this again. Book right here gets the ball and whack. It comes from number 9, who is reaching in for the ball. That's Gabriel Fernandez. And I think Ed Book got a finger in the eye right there.
Yep.
Fernandez came over and made a wild swipe at the ball as Book pulled it down toward his waist. Had he connected with the ball, it would have been good. Now, Dylan is talking with Sanchez.
And they're still going at it. They're still going at it. There's starting to be a bit of feeling now. But I think this is good for New Zealand. Honestly, Bob, I think this is the type of game we need to have. We need to be in the Argentinians' faces because, as we know, under a bit of pressure, they may drop their head, they may drop the shoulders a little, and all of a sudden, mentally they're out of the game. If we can keep mentally tough here, we don't mind a bit of biff here and there.
Well, let's not make too much of it. It was a wild swipe at the ball. It wasn't an intentional punch or anything like that. Fernandez went for the ball, poked Ed Book in the eye,
don't
and that's
get
where
politically correct on me, Bob. I don't care. Let's get in these guys' faces. That's what it's all about. We can be nice and positive here. We can take positives out of this, and that's the sort of defense we want, to spur us on.
Well, Book has made the first of 2. He connects with this one. It's a tie ball game. Here we go. The Kiwis come roaring back.
That's what we want, Bob. Let's see another good defensive stance here. Let's see if we can, play good defense, move our feet, upset the Argentinians, and go down the other end.
New Zealand sticking with man-to-man. Ginobili back in the game. Crafty left-hander tries to take it inside, and he's going to be fouled. That's Paul Henare, number 7, who's going to collect the foul.
I think that looked a lot worse on the replay. Here we go. Paulie stepped across, and the guy was already in the air. So, it looked a lot worse than what it was. It wasn't an intentional, it wasn't hard foul.
You see the look from Paul. He's looking for the call there. It didn't come. Ginobili, who had 9 points, virtually all in the first period for Argentina, back in the game, and he's certainly a dangerous player with the ball, a slashing, driving type of player. He misses the first, and it's still locked. No, he made the first one, 64-63. Argentina now by 2. Tough, uncompromising contest here.
This is good
third
stuff.
period, 2.5 minutes to play, and then we'll be into the final 10 minutes. Tab Baldwin pacing the sideline like a caged lion, constantly talking to the referees. Marks fakes the 3, gives it off. They'd like to go inside. They're getting fouls on the Argentinians. Book, nice little fadeaway.
Ed Book, and he's talking it up too. Good job, Ed Book. He took the ball down low. He feels that he can take his defensive man, and he's screaming for the ball.
2 points from heaven. 65 all, 2 minutes left to play in the third period. Ginobili marked closely out front, and Henare has to foul again. Now that's going to be 4 on Paul. We've got a few guards. We can replace him. I think he should just continue to play as tightly as he has, Jeff.
Yeah, I think Paul's done a great job, in terms of playing that guy straight up, and you know, he goes to the bench, well-earned rest, and Sparky comes back into the game. But you know, the defensive intensity had stepped up, Bob. That's why we're in this game.
Absolutely. Now, what a very, very classy free throw shooter. He's made 3 in a row since he stepped into the game in the second half here. Ginobili makes both of them. That's 4 in a row for him. Shoves Argentina back into a 2-point lead. Under 2 minutes to play. Sean Marks pointing out where he would like players to go. Now he would love to get the ball inside. It goes to Ed Book. Bounce, bounce, turn, puts it up over the basket, and Marks is going to be called for pushing. Now that's one of the first calls the Japanese referee has made this afternoon, and it goes against New Zealand.
Yeah, no, it was Sean Marks over the back of the big fella. Tab can't believe it. Here we go. The shot goes up by Book. Oh, there wasn't any defensive position, you know, 50-50 call that one, but unfortunately it goes against us. Argentina down the other end. The Kiwis are in the bonus, so are Argentina, so every foul from now on will be a shooting foul.
Well, Ruben Wilkowski is up to it. He makes the first, second to come, and suddenly Argentina 3-point lead again, 68-65, but the Kiwis have come from 8 points down at halftime to be right back in the ball game. 1:46 left to play in period number 3. They need 2. They desperately need a basket here, Jeff.
Yeah, and I think we need to perhaps get maybe Pero Cameron or Phil Jones back into the game.
Now there's number 9, Fernandez again. He sticks a finger in Sean Marks' eye this time. That's just wild, foolish, dangerous play. The referee has got to talk to him about that. That's 2 players he's injured by having wild round-arm swipes at the ball.
And let's see it.
Watch
here we
it
go.
right here. Whack.
Oh, look at that.
That's just dangerous play. He's got to be told about that. The referees have said nothing. They've done nothing. How many times do we have to see that? It's a bit sickening. 2 players, Ed Book and Sean Marks, have suffered the same fate. The hands of the smiling butcher, Fernandez.
He is a smiling butcher right now.
Play resumes. Dickel throws a 3. Knocks it down. That's the way to answer it.
Dickel, that's the way to answer it. We're down 1, Bob. And maybe that's the spark we need from Sparky.
Okay, New Zealand down by 1. 69-68, 113. Ginobili looking for a way to the hoop. Gives it up. Fernandez from the corner. He hits it.
Oh, he's pumped too. He's going down the sideline. He's got his fans going.
Dare we say someone should get a hand in his face, Jeff?
Or at least a finger and an eye.
Okay, this time Fernandez is called for the foul. Pero Cameron put the body on him, pushed him out of the way.
Defensively, he can't stop Pero down low. Pero sealed him down low, and he was able to extract the foul out of the Japanese referee.
Here's the result of that last play. Timeouts being taken with 55.5 seconds to play. New Zealand trail Argentina by 4, 72-68. Well, Jeff, New Zealand have come from 8 points down at the end of the halftime. They're back in the ball game, but it's a crucial time here. With 55 seconds left to play, they can't slip 6 or 8 points behind again. They've done so well to get back in. Sean Marks has got to get back in the game. I hope he hasn't scratched a cornea. That could be very painful and could limit the sight in his right eye.
I agree with you, Bob. You know, as long as, and look at the attention he's getting there on the bench. It's weeping already. But I think you're right. We can't let them score out of this timeout here. As long as we knuckle down and maybe keep the game within 5 going into the final quarter, we've got a great shot. Great shot.
Well, we do. We've played well without Sean Marks before. Sean's going to come back into the ball game. He's having trouble. His right eye is tearing quite heavily, but he'll come back into the game with a minute to play in the 3rd period. That could be a bit sore tomorrow. He's playing on a sprained ankle. He had an injection, a painkiller. The ankle was numb yesterday. He's had another shot today. He's a man carrying a couple of injuries. No, he's going to sit out the rest of this quarter, which is probably a good thing. In the meantime, we've got Damon Rampton, number 12 in the game for New Zealand. Pero Cameron on the line to shoot 2, and Ed Book What a game he's played in the last few minutes. He's stepped up, made a couple of good free throws, has rebounded very well. Come on, Pero, 2 free throws right now.
That one didn't even look like it. We've got to get it up there, PC. We need this one. See if we can coach him from the side here, Bob.
Argentina, nothing if not tough. Rampton being pushed by both players there. Tries to push Fernandez out of the way. They're a very physical team. New Zealand won't back down, but it is getting a bit rough in patches. Now, a couple of the referees, well, both of them have got to step up and make the calls.
There we go. Good defensive board by Damon Rampton. And that's what I think we need. We need the Argentina out there shooting those threes and getting our own boards.
Pero's shot doesn't drop, and 2 Argentine players grab the ball. Number 13 it was who brought it down, Andre Nicchioni. Sanchez, New Zealand back in a zone, a 1-2-2 zone. Rampton at the point, put a tall guy at the point, and it forces the point guard to give it up. Now, Walkowski was camped in the lane, I thought, but he took a nice pass and got an easy 2 points out of it. 5 points the lead, 74-69. We got 6 seconds on the clock. Dickel in the paint, kicks it out. Penny fakes, puts up the three, it's there!
Penny, and
You
that's what we
beauty!
needed, Kirk.
So, at the end of 3 periods of play, on compliments of Kirk Penny, New Zealand back to within 2. Argentina 74, New Zealand 72.
Fantastic. Don't miss Mad Monday.
I don't know who
Outscored Argentina 28-22 in that 3rd period, and players who really stepped up. Kirk Penny has 13 points now, and Pero Cameron is up his scoring rate, and we've really got to take our head off to Ed Book. He's played so well in the 3rd period. Sean Marks in the game with 10 points. He's out now, having been poked in the eye, but he'll make a comeback. Ginobili makes a steal. He missed a shot, makes a steal. What a classy player.
It certainly was, and good defensive rebound, but we turned the ball over.
Nocchioni hits the first 2 in the 4th period, shoves the lead to 4 for Argentina. Damon Rampton continues in the lineup for New Zealand. Pero Cameron, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders now, gives it off to Dickel. Dickel down the lane, kicks it out to Kirk Penny. Penny very closely marked. Damon Rampton, a ball pinned against the glass by Walkowski. Big defensive play.
Well, that was a huge defensive play by the big fella, but you know, once again, New Zealand were back on defense very quickly, and that's what saved us a lot right now.
2 players ready to come in for the Tall Blacks. Phil Jones and Sean Marks is coming back into the game. His eye must be okay. Ginobili, beautiful move to the hoop. He had the ball in the left hand, transferred it to the right, protected it with his left, and made the 2 points, and he's fouled in the process.
This
what
was
a class
quality.
act.
This is quality basketball. Let's watch this on the replay. Look at this. Beautiful finish. Went the presence of mind to go to the hole like that. Stay there with the big man coming across looking for the foul. Look at that. The determination on the man's face. That was good basketball.
On the line. Shooting 1 because the basket counted. Well, that's a 3-point play, and that takes Argentina into a 7-point lead, 79-72. New Zealand keep coming back at the Argentinians, but every time they look up, it's still an uphill battle. It goes into Pero Cameron, a ball stolen. Sparky just trying to force a little too much inside. Ginobili, what great balance in the air, spinning, puts it up and knocks it down, and the Kiwis in trouble again. They're down by 9, 81-82. Didn't even get a shot up the last time up the floor. Mark sets a pick for Phil Jones, who comes high, and the ball doesn't go down. And look at Walkowski go high to rebound.
That was our first real look at the basket this quarter. Oh,
what a class player. Somebody's got to take care of.
He's taking control. He says, this is the world stage. I'm going to the NBA this season for the San Antonio Spurs. He's taking control.
Well, Tab Baldwin has called a timeout. He had to. There's 8 minutes, 5 seconds left in the ball game. A 9-0 run leaves Argentina leading 83 over New Zealand 72. Players gathered at the court side. Both teams will take the court here. Here's the man who's just destroying New Zealand. What a class act he is, Jeff.
Absolutely, but he scored all, it's a 9-0 run to start the fourth quarter by Argentina, but it's off 4 New Zealand turnovers and a block shot. We have to take care of the ball.
You've got to admire skill no matter what the color of the jersey, and Ginobili is absolute 110% class. Kiwis have the ball. Argentina's gone back to man-to-man defense, and Fernandez, a butcher, picks up another foul. That's 3 on him. He acted a little as though he didn't lay a body on Sean Marks. He's done everything to everybody here, and he's only got 3 fouls to show for it.
The Tall Blacks have done the right thing. They're going inside. Oh, my goodness, how many were going to block that shot?
Well, that's like throwing food in a fish tank. Phil Jones put it on the glass, and 2 Argentinians came from the free throw line virtually and slapped it against the glass. Just defensive intensity. They're so intense defensively, Jeff. Any mistakes, they turn into points, and it really keeps the pressure on a team.
Oh,
40 minutes.
There you go. The man once again, easy basket down the lane, off. Just incredible offensive play.
It's like opening a bottle of precious wine to watch this guy play. It's a little bit like ballet. Ginobili is nothing but class. Phil Jones from the corner doesn't go down. Harold Cameron gets a lot of room, and Sanchez, the little man, hacking on his shoulders, trying to get to the ball.
That was no contest whatsoever. We needed that basketball because look at this man going down the lane yet again. Look at the hang time. Easy finish and going to the hole. And so we needed that from Pero Cameron. There we go. Phil Jones shooting the 3. Nothing there. Big Pero got offensive rebound over the little fella. Easy 2. This will cancel out. If we get this one, we're back within that 10.
Pero makes it. Ginobili scored the first 9 points in the 4th period. Remember, New Zealand was trailing by 2, 74-72, and suddenly Argentina went berserk. Oh, this man did. What a class act he is. Nicchioni.
And he's just showed that he can also pass the basketball, Bob. He's a complete player, isn't he?
That's why he was drafted in the NBA. He'll make a mark there. He's not a youngster. He's about 26 years old, I believe. He's been playing in the Italian league. Skills to burn. Fernandez can't believe it. Well, he's just chopped Sean Marks again, and he's acting very innocently. That's 4 on him.
He's got a bit of steel in those arms of the butcher.
Well,
Peter Leach, the mad butcher, would love to have him on his staff.
Well, Fernandez stays the game. The coach obviously has him out there for one reason, to create mayhem.
And he's doing a good job.
Well, he has, and it's really paid off for Argentina.
And there he goes again. He's got another foul.
Yep, I believe he's just bought a ticket to the bench. It's a long train ride home, mate.
And look at the innocence. What a picture.
We shall not cry for you, Argentina. Not this time. Here he goes. He tries to pull Sean Marks down with him. In the meantime, Dickel racing in to try to get a shot up while the referee was still looking.
Peter Leach, give me a call on the cell phone. I'll get that man's number for you. I'm sure he wants to work for you.
Once again, Argentina get a steal and is so quick to convert a mistake into 2 points and the foul, and suddenly they're 15 points ahead, cruising 90-75. New Zealand have just walked into a living nightmare here.
And that's the problem with the Argentinians. They are so quick up the court. Look at their big men all ran the lane there. That's a big guy. That's a forward. That's a power forward running the lane, finishing the break. That's exactly what we didn't want happening, because that's how they've broken the game up. We've got to get back on defense. Bob, it's not all over yet.
No, indeed, Jeff. And you can't really criticize the Kiwis. A couple of mistakes, a couple of loose passes. They haven't played badly, and suddenly Argentina so quick to convert a mistake into 2 points. Another foul here. This is going to be against Ginobili, and that's his 4th, I believe.
Yeah, and that's what Sparky was doing in the first half, being able to create some havoc. Here he goes, down the lane. Ginobili tried to get position. He didn't get it.
No, he came over and put his body on Mark Dickel. He collects the foul. He can't believe it. Argentina on a 17-3 run in the 4th period. It's a class act, this man. And he's constantly in the game. Now he's trying to put defensive pressure on Mark Dickel. And really, he's worth his weight in gold at the offensive end. If one guy was going to take it easy on defense, that's the man you'd tell to do it.
He would, absolutely.
Okay, New Zealand, 76, chasing Argentina on 91. 6.5 minutes left to play. Two great basketball teams here. Fans loving it. Second game will be the United States versus China.
Look at that, Bob. You know, Ginobili got the ball off the offense, went to the hole, wrapped the ball around the defender. Easy dunk for the Argentinians.
Well, Ginobili staying on the court with 4 fouls. Coach doesn't mind if he sits down. He thinks he's got the game wrapped up. It's 93-76, 17-point lead now. So quickly, the tide has turned. In fact, a tsunami has just overwhelmed New Zealand here in the last couple of minutes. Ted Bolden won't be happy about that. Neither will the players. They know what they've done wrong here.
He's missed one, Bob. He's missed one for us.
Dickel goes around him. Dickel on a 1-to-1. Takes it up, beats it out to Kirk Penny. There's the 3. Doesn't go down. Nothing happening right for the Kiwis. 5:23 time running out here in the 4th period. If New Zealand's going to make a run, they've got to do it right now. Nocioni feeds it off to Wilkowski, the big center. Cross-court pass, bit risky. Look at the ball. It never hits the floor.
That is pure basketball. That is pure basketball. The ball just tipped from fingertip to fingertip. That was great basketball, Argentina.
You've got to admire that skill. The ball never hits the floor. Just zipping from one player to the next. The defense just cannot shift as quickly as they're passing the ball. Pero puts his body on Nocioni. Calls for the ball, gets it. Jones protects it, puts it up, and he's going to be pushed by Oberto, number 7, who can't believe it. But yes, he's gone. He's gone. Doesn't matter right now. They could foul out all their starters and probably not be in real trouble, Jeff.
It's gone to 20. It exploded on us very quickly, and that's the type of teams that we're playing here at the International World Championships. You know, teams can all of a sudden just explode on you, Bob. Get a 10, 15-point lead, all of a sudden it goes to 20, and you know, class X like the Argentinians can do that all day long. We saw it last night with the USA-Germany game, where you know Germany stayed with the US team all the way to the 4th quarter, and all of a sudden, boom, the Americans just went stupid.
Well, that's right. They just pounce on every mistake. They punish you doubly. They take away the 2 points you might have scored, and they punish you by putting another 2, possibly 3 on at the other end. So every turnover is worth 4 points. 3 of those and you're 12 points down. Nocioni drives for the hoop. He's in the lane. He has the ball stripped away from him by Phil Jones. New Zealand trying to run. Henare on the game now for Mark Dickel. Jones kicks it out. New Zealand passing it around the perimeter. Kirk Penny trying to get off a 3 here. Going baseline. The ball's knocked out of his hands by Wilkowski. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time to get up a shot. They have to score here for pride, for confidence, just to get back into the sync of the game, Jeff.
Yeah, they've got to do that, and there you go. Kirk Penny got a nice shot off. Unable to make it, but you know, a defensive stand here, Bob. We've got 4 minutes to go in the game, and you know, we can't let ourselves down here in the last 4 minutes.
Well, I think we're looking at one of the semifinalists here. Argentina, a very tough, well-balanced, well-coached team, with a player of the class of Ginobili leading the offensive charge. They're going to be very tough to beat.
Now, there's the defensive player I was talking about. You know, Argentina mucked around with the ball a bit. You know, they took their time. They thought it was an easy play. The Kiwis stuck to their defensive task. We got a 24-shot violation.
Okay, New Zealand has called timeout with 3:46 left in the game. They're trailing Argentina 96-78. Well, the hooter has sounded. The start of the last 3 minutes and 46 seconds as both teams take the court. Harold Cameron leading all scores for New Zealand with 19, and Ginobili for Argentina with 24. He's got 4 fouls. He's on the bench at the moment. Argentina, 2 players have already fouled off. It doesn't matter for them. They've got a long, strong bench. Anybody who comes off the bench is ready to play and can play almost without a hiccup. They step into the lineup. Phil Jones with a 3. It doesn't go down. Paul Henare over the back. Now he sticks a finger in the eye of the Argentinian player. That's number 4, Sanchez.
And that's Paulie Henarde's 5th foul. He's on the way to the bench.
It wasn't a finger in the eye, just hit him alongside of the head. Sanchez went down. He popped up pretty quickly once the foul went his way. There's the man.
Yeah, I'm
Manu.
surprised he's back, Bob. I'm surprised that the Argentinians have brought him back. 3:23 to go. The last thing they need is their star getting injured when the game is, conceivably out of reach.
Jeff, what do you tell a player like this whose game consists of driving, slashing to the basket, and a very slight build, actually a perfect basketball build. He's not overly muscly, not overly tall, and he's fearless when he goes down bloody nose lane. How do you tell him, take it easy, mate?
Well,
hold back.
I wouldn't put him in the game. With 3 minutes 23 to go, you got to keep him out of the game. There's a lot of basketball to be played at these World Championships, and Argentina definitely need Ginobili to be on the court. And as you said before, these guys are medal contenders.
Yes, they are. Now, 5 fouls. That's going to be 5 fouls.
Dylan Boucher.
Dylan will have to leave the game.
And Paolo Winitana comes into the game to get some action.
It's good substitution. It's good for Paolo to get a bit of court time, Jeff.
We're a very small lineup right now, Bob, with Pero the biggest guy out there.
Maybe small, but it's still a physical lineup. Argentina, hand on the shoulder, should be a foul on number 11, but no, they're going to tag it against Pero Cameron.
Yeah, that's his 4th.
I thought number 11, Scola, was vaulting off Pero's shoulder to try to get that rebound. Now, Pero's in a little bit of foul trouble as well. He's on 4. He's got 19 points, the leading scorer for New Zealand.
But I think this is an interesting move by Tab, because he's gone with a real small lineup. Pero at 6'6", our tallest player. Then Phil Jones at 6'5", and Kirk Penny at 6'5". I think it's an opportunity to see if we can run a bit, try and get a few more of those threes, those bombs going, and see how we go.
3 minutes left to play. New Zealanders take heart. New Zealand's already...
the first of those bombs that I was talking about. I think this is why they've got... Now, the Kiwis have gone to a full-court press, and they're going to try and upset this big Argentinian lineup.
Well, that's good. New Zealand have already qualified to go through to the second round. They didn't have to win this game. They certainly wanted to give Argentina fits, and they did that for 3 periods. Sanchez, they break the press. Sanchez gets the easy 2 points, and it's 100-81. Dickel under pressure behind the back dribble, bring it up against Scola. And the foul is going to be called on Ginobili. Says goodbye.
And he should have gone with 3 minutes and 23 seconds. That was a bit unfortunate. He was on the court at this time.
I love the guy's heart, though, Jeff. Here it is, late in the ball game. There's nothing on it, and he's still hounding Mark Dickel out front, trying to make a steal. I think the man is paid per point he scores and per steal he makes. What do you think? What a contract, huh?
Absolutely, and I think he might be right, because it makes no sense for him being on the court.
Well, we got a final. Germany have pretty well demolished Algeria, 102-70, but that was expected. Algeria, first-timer here, the World Championships. Number 13, Nocchioni, has stepped into the lane. We've seen that call made over and over again at the championship. So Dickel gets another free throw. 18 points to deficit. Could cut it to 17. He does. 2:28 left in the ball game.
There's that full court pressure again with this small lineup we've got. And this is a great move by Coach Tab Baldwin.
Yeah, it is, Jeff. Put some pressure on them. Make them hustle. Make them work. A foul on Mark Dickel. Now here's a good substitution. Judd Flavel is going to replace Kirk Penny. Penny just didn't have a hot hand tonight. He made a few in the first half. He won't be particularly happy with his shooting tonight. That happens occasionally to the best of them. I'd like to see it happen to Ginobili once in a while. Wow, can that man shoot?
He certainly can. And but Kirk's done a good job tonight. He doesn't need to hang his head. He's done a good job. He hasn't shot the ball particularly well to his standards. But we all have those nights sometime or another.
Leandro Palladino on the line. That gives him 11 points.
And we've gone even smaller now. Kirk Penny's gone off with Juddy Flavel back into the game.
Well, that's all right. He's resting Sean Marks. That's good. And Ed Book is getting a rest. Both of them got fingers in the eyes and probably going to have little sight problems tomorrow. We hope not. Winnetana has the ball stolen from him. Palatino, nice pass.
And that was finished off yet again. And that's the hustle of the Argentinians starting to come through. You know, we turn the ball over yet again. And that's probably been our weakest point in our game this today right now, Bob, is the turnovers that we've been able to give the Argentinians easy baskets.
Judd Flavel makes a move down Bloody Nose Lane, gives the ball to Pero Cameron, who gets an easy two, and it's 104-85. New Zealand staying within 20 points here. It'd be good if they could. Long pass to the baseline. That's number 10, Sconacini.
Not with a defensive effort like that. Come on, guys. Keep your head up. We've got to show these guys we can still stay with it.
Well, you can see the Argentinians, how quick they are to exploit any weakness at all. They picked apart the zone pressure. They found the man alone under the basket with 2 passes, scored the easy 2 points. This is a class team.
It certainly is, Bob. And as you said before, you know, these guys are destined for at least contention for a medal at these championships.
Well, I picked them to be semi-finalists, Jeff. They look a certainty to me, along with teams like Yugoslavia, the United States, certainly.
Germany.
Possibly Germany. Maybe New Zealand will squeak in there.
Well,
remains
you know,
to be seen.
Right now, we only have to win one game in the second round. We come up against, I think it's China, the US, and
Germany.
Germany are the other teams. So, you know, we can beat China. We've proved that on our tour, so we can beat China. If we can beat China, we're into the last 8.
Quarterfinal time, and then it's sudden death. One loss and you're out. 1 minute, 20 seconds. Time ticking down here, 108-85. The bomb doesn't drop. Argentina knocked the ball almost out of bounds. Sanchez saves it, brings it over halfway. Almost into the last minute of play here. Sconacini a little too fancy behind the back. Coach won't be happy with that. A bounce pass down there on the ankles, just a little bit too hard for Winnetana to pick off the floor. That's tough going full speed to reach down and control a pass like that, Jeff.
Yeah, that was a tough pass that Juddy tried to make. But you know, the good thing is we got that ball off a steal. You know, the defense knuckled down and we got that fast break opportunity. So, you know, there was a positive out of that ball.
105. 108 to 85 underneath, backing in. Nocchioni, nice little turnaround fadeaway. Class act. 110 to 85. 25 points to deficit now. Time ticking down. 27 seconds. Dickel's going to run down a bit of the clock. They'll want at least another 3 points here. Who's going to get it? Winnetana. Nice little fadeaway. Doesn't go down. Sanchez, they've got time, 10 seconds as he brings it over halfway. 110-85. They'll look for one last shot. Sanchez into the corner. Ball was kicked, so it's going to be inbounded by Argentina with 3 seconds on the clock. Now you watch. Here's an interesting part of the game. 3 seconds. Watch how long it takes. A clock doesn't start until the player inbounds touches it, so they get off a good shot. And Argentina run out comfortable winners after being ahead by only 2 at the end of the third period. Final score 112 to 85.
So Argentina finishing the group matches unbeaten. The Tall Blacks putting in a brave effort against the South American champions, and the team ranked 3rd in the world. Chris Tupu, your thoughts on the game?
We saw a pretty damn good team there. Argentina, you know, the commentators said that they're probably going to go to the semi-finals. They sort of were able to step it up in that last sort of quarter and really just sort of edge away from the Kiwis. Some really talented players there. You saw the guy Ginobili sort of take over there, and they're a class side. And, you know, the Kiwis now, well, we just got to go back to the drawing board and have a look at these next teams and try and prepare for them.
Just before we leave that game then with Argentina, let's have a look at the stats for the game. And Chris, what do you make of those?
Yeah, points in the paint there. Some, you know, Argentina's pretty dominant in the paint there. There's some really good post play and 3-point shooting there.
Look at those fast break points there, 18-1 to the South Americans.
One of their strengths is the turnaround from defence to offense for Argentina. So and obviously a few more possessions for the Argentinians and some more shots at goal. So
just briefly now then, when we look ahead to China, the USA and Germany, time for the New Zealanders to reassess their goals.
Definitely, they've got a video analysis guy over there. I'm sure he's going to be earning his money tomorrow and getting all the plays set up for the guys. So I'm sure that they'll have a game plan for each of those teams, and you know, China probably the pick of the teams to try and aim to get that win into the last 8.
All right, Chris, thanks for your comments today. Look forward to seeing you through the week.
Thanks.
Chris Tupu, our guest today. Now, let's check on the games to come this week. Now, tomorrow is a day off for the New Zealanders. Now, this is provisional. The USA-China game is still going on, but it's likely to be Germany on Tuesday, a chance to take on the Americans on Wednesday, and China on Thursday. That's a crucial game. We can't give definite times until all the group matches are completed. So the Tall Blacks beaten today, but through to the second round. Stay with us now for Shell Helix Motorsport. More sport to come. That's coming next.